back to another edition of Boozing with Jude, the first one of 2021. I'm doing, aren't they all, another very special edition of Boozing with Jude, and I'm going to dedicate it to a friend of mine. I won't call him out. I won't post a picture, but a very good friend of mine. Let's call him Marco, because that's kind of his name. And he's having a tough time. He's entering that stage of his journey that we'll all have to go to, and unfortunately, we can't accompany him there. So, and because I pretty much learned about the gin and tonic from this person, I'm gonna revisit the gin and tonic. Now, I've done an episode on the gin and tonic, but this one is going to be a garden gin and tonic, and I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to tell you about the gins I tried to choose. I'm going to tell you about why, I associate this particular drink with this very special friend of mine. The headline on my YouTube page says, every cocktail has a story. And I think every cocktail does have a story, and some cocktail stories are different for different people. So when I moved to London the first time, I lived there in the mid-90s for a couple years. Not that I'm bragging. I met this guy. He's great, fantastic guy, beloved by everybody. And that's where I learned that gin, even though made originally in Holland, pretty much the national drink of England, maybe Britain, but definitely England. And it's gin and tonic. I mean, I loved my martinis, and I still do. And actually, I was a beer drinker, and I still am. What don't you drink, Jude? I don't know. Anyway, so I was fortunate enough to be invited over to a few of these gatherings that he threw, and in the several places that he lived, he was able to develop these beautiful rooftop gardens. Yeah, unbelievable. One had a fountain, and there tended to be herbal plants depending on what country you're from. I don't even know what to say anymore. Herbs. Anyways, just beautiful. And so there would be bank holiday parties, and basically that meant we were hoping for good weather, and it never really happened because England, there's no such thing. But there'd be gin and tonics, and there would be barbecue, sausages and that sort of thing. Bangers. Okay, I guess they say bangers. I still say sausages. Anyways, and so one time I was fortunate enough to visit, and folks were coming for a gathering, and I offered to help make the drinks and the food. And Marco, my friend Mark, said, "Here, take the glasses and make up some gin and tonics." And so I did. It was, I believe it was Gordon's gin. I don't remember the tonic. And then he gave me a lemon to slice up, and I was kind of a snob back then. I was thinking to myself, you don't put lemon with gin and tonic. You put lime with gin and tonic, right? Okay. Now, what is my phrase? It's your life. Live it drinking the cocktails that you like. And you know what? When I drink martinis, I do like a lemon twist in there. So what's the big deal? So I started cutting wedges of lemon, and he's like, no, I cut just a thing full wheel and just put it on top. And so, Bob's your uncle did it. Perfect, fantastic. The part I did enjoy was making the smoked salmon on some kind of cracker with creme fraiche and dill, because I love salmon, but I don't like it smoked, and that's also the national food of Britain, smoked salmon. Anyways, but I just learned all about gin, and so I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this drink, and what gin should I use? This is a dedication, and this is a toast to my friend. Although I don't expect he'll ever see this. I mean, there's more important things for him to be reflecting on and thinking on right now. But when I toast somebody, or I toast a group of people, it's my way of saying, you know what, I'm thinking about you all the time, and it's a prayer. Yeah, it's a prayer. So, and it's also something for me to do, because we're left going, we're helpless. What can we do? We can do a little bit, but so I'm just doing this. What sort of gin to use? Well, okay, I got all my gins here. Except for Bombay Sapphire, which is in the freezer. Now, Bombay Sapphire, the classic London Dry. I don't have Gordon's, which I did see him drink. I remember, one of the first times I was invited over, he had a blue gin. Yeah, blue. And I'm like, I was fascinated with it. It was just I think it might have been from Harrods. It might have been a special gin. So I just like went out on this mad, dash to find blue gin. And the only one I found years ago was this one. It's Magellan. I don't have much left. It's a French gin. It's very floral. It's made with like, iris like the flower. So that's one of the main botanicals that you'll get. And so I thought about it and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that. But here it is. Thought about it. So, there's my, that's the number 2 gin here. And like, I think award-winning is Hendrick's, which is Scottish. And it's got cucumbers. And since this is, I'm going to call it a garden gin and tonic, and it's going to be garden gin and tonic because I'm remembering those kind of herbal gardens that were on the rooftop. Hendrick's does have the cucumber in it. And I thought, great, that's an idea. Scottish. It's Scottish. Nothing wrong with that. We love the Scots. Aye laddie, aye lassie, but yeah, we're gonna not do that one. Then I thought, well, Michigan, Long Road Distillery, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I don't think Mark's ever been to Grand Rapids. This is like the best craft gin in, America. Okay, voted number 1, and it's outstanding. But it doesn't really have much meaning in this particular episode. I think the like number 1 gin, I don't know, is it Nolet? It's from Holland, so I want to pronounce it the French way, but I don't know. Yeah, it's good gin. It's outstanding gin. It's a good dry gin, but that didn't make sense either. Then I thought, okay, so Malfi. I was really tempted to go with Amalfi. Malfi is from Italy. It's from the Amalfi Coast, right? And so it's going to have that kind of forward citrus thing. And my friend lived in Italy on several occasions. And, I expect that Italy is near and dear to his heart as it is to mine. So I was tempted. But we're not going with Malfi. Very tempted. So I thought, you know what? He's from England, right? Let's do an England gin. So Sapphire, Bombay Sapphire, my go-to, but, kind of run-of-the-mill. So then I thought, what about the Mason? Mason gin from Yorkshire. Yeah, Yorkshire. Very tempted. Love this gin. Thank you, Bishop John. But he's not from the north. He's from the south, and I believe he's from Surrey, where I used to live when I lived in London the last time. Not that I'm bragging. So that brings it down to Bombay Sapphire, which I've already ruled out as being just like 2, generic, and Silent Pool. You might have figured it out. You can't see the glass that I was going to go with Silent Pool all along. Silent Pool, made in Surrey, not too far from where I think my friend Mark is from, and not too far from where I lived when I lived in Woking in Surrey. So I'm going to use Silent Pool, and it's going to work really well because of the garden variety stuff I have here, which are like several different herbs, strawberry. So we'll see what happens when we do this. So what I'm going to do is, you don't normally, you just pour a gin over the rocks and then top it with tonic. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually put it in a tin with some ice and shake it first, not with the tonic. I'll show you why. And then we'll add the tonic. Okay, so the reason is I'm going to put some herbs in it. I've got some basil. Yummy. Big, sweet, fresh basil. Now, I'm not going to put this basil in the drink, so I'm actually going to put the stem in there and crush the stem because there's a lot of flavor in the stem. And I'm going to put some, I always get thyme and rosemary mixed up. This is rosemary, right? Doesn't matter, I'm putting both in there. Put a little bit of rosemary in there, not in the stem. And then I'm going to put a little bit of thyme in there, which I'll leave on the stem. Thyme. And then, garden. And that's the thing, I think of him when summer comes. Not that summer came there much because of these like lovely like rooftop, bank holiday parties. And so summer and gin and tonics go together. And here it is, the dreary middle of winter in Mishawaka. But I got a few strawberries from Driscoll's Strawberries, which are from California. They're in season there. And I'm going to put 2 sliced up strawberries in there. And then I'm going to take my muddler. Yeah, muddle. Now, could pour the gin in, but I'm going to muddle it a little bit first and just get the strawberries and mixed in a little bit with the basil, the thyme, and the rosemary. This is not going in the drink. It's going to be double strained. Okay, so you shouldn't have like little pieces of, strawberry and that stuff in it. This is just to flavor the gin a little bit, right? So, give it a good muddle, but again, don't beat the crap out of it because when you do that with with anything, really, sometimes it gets a little bitter. Okay, how much gin? Well, if it weren't the middle of the day, it's not. I don't drink in the middle of the day. I would say 3 ounces. So we'll do 3 ounces. We're going to take our Silent Pool gin. Fans, Silent Pool, love you. Love the Silent Pool gin. It's really good stuff. And you may have seen me make something with Silent Pool before, and I said I never like to use it. That's really true, because it's really hard to get here, and when you get it, it's really expensive. But that's okay, because this is a special episode for a very special person. So 3 ounces of Silent Pool. I don't know what Mark's favorite gin is. You know, like I said, I've seen him drink Gordon's. I've seen him have a whole host of other things. But, you know, he's got good taste, you know. And I remember him mentioning once, and I had it, some gin from Ely. Ely is, it's sort of over there in, well, okay, I'm not going to start naming counties because I don't know my counties in England, but it's a town with a fabulous cathedral. And I don't think it's too far from Cambridge, actually. And I was there once, and I got a bottle of Ely gin. It was really gorgeous. But it's not like something you're going to find, you know, on your shelves in the liquor store. It's kind of a special gin. So I got my stuff in here. I've got my gin. I've got my whatever's in there. I'm going to fill up my glass first. I should have chilled it, but, you know, it's pretty big. You know, I just don't have enough room in the freezer. So I'm going to put that in there, and I'll put the rest of it in here. And we're just going to do a little shake. Are we going to bruise the gin? You know what? I don't believe in bruising gin. I don't know how you bruise a liquid. I don't care. You know what? It's going to help me get the flavors in there a little bit and get it cold. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to shake it. I'm not going to shake it too much, folks, but I'm going to give it a good shake, okay? Okay. So, you know, a lot of that muddled stuff stays in the bottom, but still, we just want to get a little flavor. So we're going to double strain it in here, just to keep all the little parts out, right? I'll probably close the gate here because I don't want any like strawberry mush clogging up my double strain here. So it's going to be should have a little pink tinge to it. We'd like a lot more than that, but that's all we're going to get. So remember, this is a gin and tonic. Okay, so I'm just trying to get every ounce I can in there. I don't want to waste any. We don't like wasting the nectar of the gods. Okay, so we've done that, and now we have to we're going to top it with tonic. But before I do, and this is not really part of the recipe I made up, but I'm just going to do it for a little fun. I was reminded of the blue gin, as I talked about. This is called, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right. I don't know. It's from France. Hypnotique, Hypnotic, I don't know. It's a blue drink. And basically, it's a vodka and cognac-based drink. I'm just in it. It's got, like, some fruit juice in it. So, it's a pretty blue. I'm not, you know, this is not like the traditional gin and tonic. But just for a little fun, I'm going to put literally a half an ounce in here. Literally. This is not really part of the recipe, folks, but I just wanted to have a little blue in there. Okay, so, just to add a little fun. And the next thing is we're going to top this with tonic. So, Silent Pool recommends, you know, that you use Fever Tree Indian tonic with their gin. Who might argue? You know, take what kind of tonic you like best. There are, you know, we've talked about that a little bit. There are tonics and there are tonics, and some tonics are actually better. But you know what? Whatever tonic you like is important. So we're going to pour that right over the ice. Let it fizz up. You don't normally have to stir a gin and tonic. So this bottle is what, 6.8 fluid ounces. I've got about 3.5 ounces of liquid in there. So I'm not going to quite pour it all in, but it's almost double the amount of gin. You know what? You do what you want. And then I'm going to take, just for old time's sake, a lemon wheel. I'm going to just sit that right in the top. And then, because of our garden variety herbs in there and our fruit, our strawberry, reminding us of summer, we're going to do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I would call the garden gin and tonic, and dedicating it to my friend Mark. All of our thoughts are with you. All of our prayers are with you. As I said, a toast for me is a prayer. And, you know, like I said, I don't know that this is ever going to be something that he will see, but I'm doing it for the rest of us who are kind of, you know, thinking a lot about you. So then I would just finally say, you know, to this wonderful man that what we had, you know, back in the day, some things in common that I just really appreciated. Number one, we share a birthday. Happy birthday, best day of the year. And secondly, we share a love of dogs. And thirdly, a love of Cardinal Manning. Yeah, Google that. So here's to you. Salute. Yum. It's a good drink to make. I mean, if you love gin and tonic, but you kind of get bored with it because, you know, it can be a little boring. It's the same old thing, right? Gin and tonic. You know, go ahead and throw some herbs in there. Basil works really well. Basil with strawberry. Peppercorn sometimes even. Peppercorn and basil. But I like this combination of basil and rosemary and thyme. And the little strawberry muddled at the bottom. It's not a really powerful strawberry taste. And just that you can't really even taste the hypnotique. It was, like I said, it was just to give it a little light blue flavor, which actually it didn't. It's more pink. It's more pink from the strawberries, and the glass kind of helps make it a little blue. So, you guys, until next time, keep my friend in your hearts, and I'll keep you guys in my hearts. We'll see you next time.